Deputy Aylward, my apologies.
Minister, I want to ask the Minister of Agriculture, Food and the Marine if the level of direct support for the Suckler cow herd will be increased to 200 per cow on the next calf, and if you will make a statement on this matter.
2 minutes.
Thank you, Deputy. Examination of appropriate measures to support all agri-food sectors, including the suckler sector, is underway in my department in preparation for the next iteration of the CAP. The measures adopted will be informed by stakeholder consultation on the needs of the sector to develop in an economically and environmentally sustainable way, as well as the available budget and structure of the new CAP when it is finalised. Currently, the Beef Data and Genomics Programme, BDGP, is the main support specifically targeted for the suckler sector, which provides Irish beef farmers with some €300 million in funding over the current Rural Development Programme. This scheme is an agri-environmental measure to improve the environmental sustainability of the national suckler herd by increasing the genetic merit within the herd. My department has rolled out a range of schemes as part of the €4 billion Rural Development Programme to 2020. In addition to BDGP, other supports which are available to suckler farmers under Pillar 2 of the CAP include GLAS, ANC and knowledge transfer groups. Suckler farmers also benefit from the basic payment and greening payments under CAP Pillar 1. I am strongly of the view that the current range of supports available to suckler farmers, together with ensuring market access to as many markets as possible, both for live animals and beef exports, are appropriate supports for the development of the sector. National Farm Survey data suggests that suckler farmers receive support equivalent to approximately €500 per suckler cow on average. I will continue to argue for as strong a CAP budget as possible post-2020. I am committed to ensuring that suckler farmers continue to receive strong support in the next CAP. It is worth noting that the current draft proposals do make provision for coupled payments under Pillar 1. However, as it is envisaged in the current draft, and as was the case in the current round, any coupled payment would require a corresponding decrease in the funding available for the basic payment. My view is that payments should support and encourage suckler farmers to make the best decisions possible to improve the profitability and the economic and environmental efficiency of their farming system.
Deputy Aylward has 1 minute.
I table this question to highlight the absolute necessity in prioritising the suckler sector with targeted support for these farmers are under threat on many fronts. While our farmers are well known worldwide for producing some of the best beef in the world, they continue to depend exclusively on capped direct payments for their livelihoods, which average incomes just below $13,000 according to Chavez. This is the Chavez figures that we got recently. Fianna Fáil has campaigned over the last number of years for a 200 payment policy with a suckler cow, which Fine Gael continue to turn a blind eye to. The government is underestimating the importance of supporting the national suckler herd, farmers and the rural communities that rely on this sector. The almost 1 million suckler cow herd is a vital component of Ireland's rural economy and a wealth enabler. With every €1 spent of support provided to suckler farmers, generating over €4 of economic activity in rural villages, towns and parishes. According to research carried out by UCD on behalf of the IFA, suckler families underpin annual Irish beef exports worth €2.5 billion. Given the potential threats of Brexit and any Mercosur deal on suckler farmers' incomes, governments must immediately seek EU recognition for these and request the necessary funding support. And as well as that, Minister, I'm told here, I have it down in front of me, that the underspent last year in was €106 million and €78 million in 2017. This is a lot of money, and why not use this money to keep a vital industry like suckler cow going?
Response.
Thank the Deputy for his question. I note, I'm not sure if the Deputy is a member of the Agricultural Committee, but the Agricultural Committee in its report today talks about continued support for BDGP as a measure to support the suckler sector, and interestingly talks about, in the context of climate change, recommends the Minister for Agriculture, Food and the Marine promotes all schemes and practices that are orientated towards the goal of carbon neutrality. Now, in that context, which is the cross-party support of the Oireachtas Committee, in terms of a coupled payment for 1 million suckler cows costing €200 million per annum, and the possibility that because it's a coupled payment that it will drive numbers at the expense of the quality that has been promoted through BDGP, and on the basis that under the Rural Development Programme, except you're talking about closing down any particular scheme, the reality is that we're overspent rather than underspent. I just don't see, Deputy, where the €200 per suckler cow coupled payment fits into that arithmetic, and that's the missing chapter that I haven't seen from you. or others that promote this. I mean, we need to. I mean, the big challenge we're facing is the juggernaut coming down the tracks against us in the context of climate change. If we promote numbers at the expense of quality, we will make that more difficult.
It's all very well talked, but if there's not an industry going to be left there, we need an industry, and by supporting this industry, and I'm not pointing out the reason why we need to support it. And it's all right talking about what it costs of the footprint and fallout carbon footprint and all that. But if you have to bring beef from Argentina or from Brazil or from anywhere else across the world over to here to Europe to subsidise what we could produce here, where's the carbon footprint or the argument in that? It's nonsense. What I'm saying is you're talking of maintaining a viable farming Suckler cow scheme to beef. If we don't support it, it's going to go, because there's not enough money there for individual farms to stay surviving on it. And you know that, and I know that. And we have to keep it supported in that. As I said, the money that's €1 spent and €4 return, that makes economic sense anyway. And what I'm saying is, we have an underspent of money. Why not use this money to maintain an industry that's very important to this country? And if you don't, it's going to disappear. The dairy industry has been going well, but the beef industry is under severe pressure, and everyone knows that.
Final response, 1 minute.
Quite simply, Deputy, if you're predicating this on an alleged underspend, I'd invite you to read the record of the Agricultural Committee, where I went in detail and outlined that, in fact, we do not have an underspend in the Rural Development Programme. In fact, in the lifetime of the Rural Development Programme, we're over-committed by in the region of 100 million. So if your case is entirely predicated on the underspend, then, it's obvious that the case has, that you're promoting is based on foundations of sand. I do acknowledge, and I share your view, and I think most members in the House, that the Suckler cow is the backbone of the beef industry, and we must find ways to make sure that those that are most challenged within that sector get more supports. And in the context of the next round, the cap, I think that's a priority. But I think also what you're saying is that the payment should be €200 per Suckler cow. A coupled payment is 200 million. You haven't stated how you square that circle in the context of the overspend of the RDP. If that's where you're talking about, it's simply your maths don't stack up.
Carlow is 30 seconds. Number 10.